What's up, everybody? What's up, you? What's up, anybody? I am here excitedly to talk about the usual moon cycle update. New moon in Aquarius. Aquarius. That's the buzz. So essentially, we're literally just tapping into the future. We are actively, as one, thinking about our future. I've read once, well, several times, I've seen it float around on the internet for some years, that anxiety is transferring your worry to the future. And depression is transferring your worry to the past. So this cycle is really going to highlight what is going to, not what's gonna, but what has been blocking a pure connection to the future. It's also the Lunar New Year. Looking at my notes. Lunar New Year. The wood snake. Pearl in wood. So I'm really wood. Obviously reminds me of the trees. The trees are open beings, and they wish that more people would say what's up, really. They're not just there to look at, you know. They care. And then snake. The snake has its own fan club. Very symbolic in the human psyche. Now, as far as the Chinese zodiac, I'm not attuned to it. I'm not really sure what each animal represents specifically. But I think more like I like to at least give it a look, because societally, the United States and China have been heavily linked. So, but let's get into the vibes of the actual moon cycle. That little tidbit intro was just what I feel, just based off the information given. So when I pulled the cards for this, or when I just tapped into the energy and pulled the cards, sometimes I look at the bottom card, sometimes I don't, but this time I did, and I'm glad I did. The bottom cards had to deal with just the obvious resurgence of the divine feminine. Me personally, I don't think you don't have to add extra words to an essence. Like, it is what it is. And if it's not at its purest state, then it's not it. Like, you know, I know for talking points, people like to point out the variations of what is not, in this case, feminine, divine feminine. You know, they talk about the wounded and distorted and karmic and all these adjectives of feminine. And it's really just one of the poles of life. Feminine, masculine, yin, yang. Or is it yang? Peanut butter, jelly, you know? because the Empress was at the bottom of the tarot deck, and I was like, thanks, girl. We've been needing you. We've been needing you to come back. Okay. And it's just like, y'all told her to go get a job because the family needed money and things like that. And you know what? The feminine did that for her family because she's a loving, devoted mama, wife, sister, daughter, everything the feminine can be. And she just, it's like she had the realization of like, actually, this is really getting in the way of my actual life. So I'm just going to say, and it's like she wakes up one day and is like, actually, no thanks. Actually, I don't like that. Actually, what we're not about to do is that. You know, I'm a simple gal. I don't really like to add all the extra. You just live it out. But cordyceps from the herbal astrology deck, it's associated with Jupiter, Pluto, and Mars. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I have not even tapped into the astrology of the moon. Again, that's just gonna be in another video when I get around to it. But let's get into it. That was just the bottom cards. I haven't even, tapped into the direct. 7-Eleven. So, the theme. Coca. Oh, the lighting of the sun. See this rainbow? And this beautiful leopard? I thought I had my headband on, but I forgot. I don't. Coca. Foresight. It's associated with Uranus, Aquarius, and Venus. Venus might be transiting through Pisces right now. Shout out to y'all. Keyword is foresight. Foresight, from my understanding, is just the ability to sense where certain things are going. And then inner darkness. From the elemental empath deck, it is associated with the air element, and it's numbered 5. Hold safe space, knowing patterns, release versus feed. So as a theme, if you know where things are going, it's just smart to prepare yourself. And based on the tarot, the best way to do it, what's being asked is to directly tap into your feelings and your subconscious, the collective subconscious of life. And not just, if you have to start with just you, please do that. Get a sense of you first. But don't ever forget to look up. That's what this girl's doing. And it's associated with air, but this card to me looks like she just came up for air. Like out of water. So we have the Two of Cups, which people commonly associate with like soulmates and things like that, and I don't think that's wrong. But it's really just giving and sharing equally between outwardly opposing but inwardly complementary energies and forces. And then hold safe space while you're gaining the strength to do so. A lot of people are leaving a lot of things behind. Things are literally shifting. Every second. Okay, and on to how is this going to personally affect us? I pulled Milk Thistle. It's associated with Mars and the moon. So, a new moon. I'm not sure if Mars is still retrograde. Again, I have not looked at the astrology. I'm just filling in, tuning in. But it seems, again, and we have the water, it seems that the moon and what the moon represents is really affecting our actions. And if Mars is retrograde in Cancer, like that just says it all. Okay. Milk Thistle. Number 23. What does this say? Peaceful warrior. And then the Tarot. Four of Swords. Gaining, creating, building structure for your mentality. A structured mentality. Structured communication. Barriers. Contracts. Because, just based off the imagery, the three swords, I done already created something. Now I have to rest on it to see if it's worth a damn. Things are swirling around. Things are watery, things are wet, things are murky. And while you're in that space and while others are in that space, everyone has to lean into structures. And if there's not any, create them. And if the ones that are there aren't working, fix them. And if you gotta destroy it, do that. Proper work is what's needed. Like, the work has always mattered, but if it ever mattered any time, now is the time. Now. Peaceful warrior. Peace doesn't necessarily mean lack of conflict. It means maintaining structure even when there's not any. Even when there's nothing to enforce us other than ourselves. Oh no, listen. I'm not going to rush. I'm just going to turn the light on. right? And how is all this working to our advantage? I have Mandrake. Aren't these the things on Harry Potter that are screaming? Because they look like little people? I believe they are. Okay. It's number 45. It's associated with Neptune and Venus. There's Venus again. And I'm just looking at this imagery over here. I definitely have to brush up on my art history and eras. But like this style artwork is really standing out. And the keyword is sensuality. This ring of stars is also sticking out. And I feel like I want to read from the book about this. So, Mandrake, sensuality, discovering new forms of intimacy, finding the inner beloved, expression of healthy sexuality, abundance. Okay. And this is what is working to our advantage. Discovering new forms of intimacy, finding the inner beloved, expression of healthy sexuality, abundance. Those are the upright meanings. I only read things upright, but I think I should note the reversed keywords are blocked sensuality, shame around sexuality, creative energy misdirected, unchanneled desire. It says Mandrake is Mandrake is here to ask you to find new forms of intimacy. Ask yourself, what inspires bliss, joy, and passion in my life? Notice how you relax into flow and more easily attract what you need and desire when you focus on energy givers, such as joy. Mandrake is here to assist you in liberating unchanneled creativity and sensuality, releasing energy from the sacral center and activating your pleasure centers to experience a higher form of love. Don't allow unworthiness, fear of rejection, and inhibition of pleasure to stop you from experiencing higher love. Focus on giving your gifts to the world with overwhelming passion and opening up to receive fully and fearlessly. I knew that was a powerful one. The tarot card that I pulled with that, that's how y'all pronounce it, right? Tarot, carrot, cards with pictures on them and numbers, whatever, you know. Can't find the card at the moment. Well, what did I do with the Mandrake card? Anyway, the moon, number 18. The moon is associated with the subconscious and things. Emotions, illusions, Neptunian moon things. So this is what's working to our advantage. I just feel like whichever end of the spectrum you're on, the other end has a medicine for you. So if you're more of the reversed, meaning those that are more in the upright, meaning upright vibe of the Mandrake and sensuality, you know, you have to open up to cross that barrier to be open enough to learn from them and let that inspire you to release that so you can embrace it and live it. And then those that are already in the upright version, you know, share, you know, let people feel comfortable. I wrote a blog about hospitality. I'm going to talk more about it as time goes on. But just share what you have, share what you know. You know, you never know what people love about you, really. And if you're struggling with your worth, I mean, the only way to get feedback is to feed.
We've changed each other really good.
Which goes back to the theme. Release versus feed. Feed your trust. Release your shame. Release your fear. Yeah. You know, feed the future. Don't. And release the past. Feed the future, release the past. That's just, I think that's super just Age of Aquarius mantra summed up right there. And once you learn something and master something of the human life experience, you know, share a little tidbit. We have the internet. We might as well clean it up. Share. You know, some people, for whatever circumstances, can't really get up and move. That doesn't mean that they shouldn't be able to indulge and use the senses that they do and still utilize their senses. But let's move on to now what's working against us. We have Pau d'Arco. It is 7. Numbered 7. It's associated with the moon and Pluto. Pluto's in Aquarius. The moon is in Aquarius. That is a strong connection. Okay. Aquarius is associated with Saturn and Uranus. So it is a very stable shock. You know, people love to just focus on how shocking Aquarius is. And it's like, if you're completely shocked by an Aquarius, you haven't really been paying attention. Because it's associated with Saturn. Saturn is always there and is always going to let you know. And Aquarius is just like, well, based on what we do know, this is what I can tell y'all about the future and what we should do to prepare and to just live it up in the meantime. Again, I'll get into my astrology videos. I've had to get back in tune with astrology, I'm not gonna lie. Oh my goodness, this lady. And then this lady. But, you know, we see the uterus dropping blood. Look, I don't even know if that's allowed on YouTube. Oh, y'all, I don't even know. But, I'm not gonna lie, it kind of looks like a snake. There's a moon. But anyways, the womb. The uterus. Being the physical manifestation, maybe, in a way, of what the womb is. And what the moon does for us. So changes in menstrual cycles. For the ladies listening, you have to let something go, girl. Okay, it's just what it is. It's working to your disadvantage because you're gonna have to switch your circle up, and that's scary. What's working to your disadvantage? This is really, really subconscious. For me, And I'm just getting the vibe. It's more of a, on a subconscious level, I feel like we have been brought up to think that it's natural to have a third party in all of our dealings. And the theme had nothing to do with that. We had the Two of Cups. This is the focus. And what is holding us back from that is a middleman. A middleman is always has the potential to cause miscommunication. And if you think about that from a subconscious level, if you are always anticipating a third party or needing a third party, I think that's just something worth looking at. Like, look, she has the skulls on and all that. I'm feeling this. She's green. And she said, look, sister girl, you brought me to where you could. It's time for you to lay them down. That middle party. Just lay the middle party down and trust that you can lean on, first and foremost, the inner version of yourself. Like, you can trust on your own jelly to be there for your peanut butter, you know? You can trust that. Okay, we're not letting the old teachings get in the way of how we should live our lives first. Okay, 2 comes before 3. Okay? I'm starting to get a little silly. And lastly, what is our next best course of action? We have ginkgo. That's another sword. How many cards have swords in them? This card has a sword. And then we have this swords card. Okay. This sword is down and this sword is up. Charging up. Because this has Uranus and this has Uranus. This raven, just looking all cute and black. And of course, if you're into tarot, this is super Ace of Swords vibes. Breakthrough. Clarity. $39. Mars and Uranus. Our actions should be oriented towards the future. And if we're letting go of what needs to be let go of, if we are choosing to trust on us, trust on the inner self more than the third party, we're going to get a lot of clarity. If we're releasing what needs to be released and we are feeding what needs to be fed, we're naturally going to get the clarity needed to move forward towards a better future, because that's really all that's going on. Like, we as a collective are all shedding in our own ways, hence the year of the snake. That's neat. That's so neat how it all wraps back around together. That's so cute. And then look, 10 of Cups. A nice X marks the spot, sugar. Beginnings and endings. It's enough to do both. It's enough emotionality. It's enough sensuality. It's a fulfilled subconscious to where now you can supply your endings with what they need and supply your beginnings with what they need. So seek clarity always in everything. It's a cute time to be alive, y'all. Don't let... If you're alive and you're witnessing what's going on, in any capacity, that means you have the potential and the power to contribute. And don't ever underestimate that. Because there's been many years, eras, millenniums, whatever unit of measure you want to use, there's been a lot of them that have held back the divine human, or just the human. Okay. So there is plenty to do for everybody and all the bodies that are going to come in the future. There's plenty. Okay. Do not be fooled by the third parties. Okay, now. Stay tuned to my community posts. You know, I drop gems on there too, I think. So it was nice catching up, and it was nice to chat. I'll catch you in another time in another video.